Hadīth 1. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Allah created Adam in his picture, 60 cubits, about 30 meters, in height. When he created him, he said, to him, go and greet that group of angels sitting there, and listen what they will say in reply to you, for that will be your greeting and the greeting of your offspring. Adam went and said, As-Salamu alaykum, peace be upon you. They replied, As-Salamu alayka wa rahimahullāh, peace and Allah's mercy be on you. So they increased, wa rahimahullāh. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, added, so whoever will enter paradise will be of the shape and picture of Adam. Since then the creation of Adam's offspring, that is, stature of human beings is being diminished continuously, to the present time. Hadīth 2. Narrated Abdullāh bin Abbas, Al-Fadl bin Abbas rode behind the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, as his companion rider on the back portion of his she-camel on the day of Nahr, slaughtering of sacrifice, 10th Dhul-Hijjah, and Al-Fadl was a handsome man. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, stopped to give the people verdicts. In the meantime, a beautiful woman from the tribe of came, asking the verdict of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Al-Fadl started looking at her as her beauty attracted him. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, looked behind while Al-Fadl was looking at her, so the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, held out his hand backwards and caught the chin of Al-Fadl and turned his face to the other side in order that he should not gaze at her. She said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. The obligation of performing Hajj enjoined by Allah on his worshippers has become due, compulsory, on my father who is an old man and who cannot sit firmly on the riding animal. Will it be sufficient that I perform Hajj on his behalf? He said, yes. Hadīth 3. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, beware. Avoid sitting on the roads. They, the people, said, O Allah's Apostle. We can't help sitting on the roads, as these are our places, where we have talks. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, if you refuse but to sit, then pay the road its right. They said, what is the right of the road, O Allah's Apostle? He said, lowering your gaze, refraining from harming others, returning greeting, and enjoining what is good and forbidding what is evil. Hadīth 4. Narrated Abdullāh, when we prayed with the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, we used to say, As-Salam be on Allah from his worshippers, As-Salam be on Gabriel, As-Salam be on Michael, As-Salam be on so-and-so. When the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, finished his prayer, he faced us and said, Allah himself is As-Salam, peace, so when one sits in the prayer, one should say, what means, the adorations of the tongue, acts of worship and all good things are due to God. Peace be upon you, O Prophet, and God's mercy and blessings. Peace be upon us and upon God's upright servants, for if he says so, then it will be for all the pious slaves of Allah in the heavens and the earth. Then he should say, what means, I testify that there is no God but Allah, and I testify that Muhammad is his servant and messenger, and then he can choose whatever speech, that is, invocation, he wishes. Hadīth 5. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the young should greet the old, the passerby should greet the sitting one, and the small group of persons should greet the large group of persons. Hadīth 6. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the riding one should greet the walking one, and the walking one should greet the sitting one, and the small number of persons should greet the large number of persons. Hadīth 7. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the riding person should greet the walking one, and the walking one should greet the sitting one, and the small number of persons should greet the large number of persons. Hadīth 8. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the younger person should greet the older one, and the walking person should greet the sitting one, and the small number of persons should greet the large number of persons. Hadith 9. Narrated Al-Barā bin Azib, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, ordered us to do 7 things: to visit the sick, to follow the funeral processions, to say tashmeet to a sneezer, to help the weak, to help the oppressed ones, to propagate As-Salam, greeting, and to help others to fulfill their oaths, if it is not sinful. He forbade us to drink from silver utensils, to wear gold rings, to ride on silken saddles, to wear silk clothes, dibaj, thick silk cloth, kasi and istabrak, 2 kinds of silk. Hadith 10. Narrated Abdullāh bin Umar, a man asked the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, what Islamic traits are the best? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, feed the people, and greet those whom you know and those whom you do not know. Hadith 11. Narrated Abu Ayyub, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, it is not lawful for a Muslim to desert, not to speak to, his brother Muslim for more than 3 days, so that, while meeting, one turns his face to one side and the other turns his face to the other side. Lo! The better of the two is the one who starts greeting the other. Hadith 12. Narrated Anas bin Malik, that he was a boy of 10 at the time when the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, emigrated to Medina. He added, I served Allah's apostle for 10 years, the last part of his lifetime, and I know more than the people about the occasion whereupon the order of Al-Hijab was revealed, to the Prophet. Ubay bin Ka'b used to ask me about it. It was revealed, for the first time, during the marriage of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, with Zainab bint Jahash. In the morning, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was a bridegroom of her and he invited the people, who took their meals and went away, but a group of them remained with Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and they prolonged their stay. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, got up and went out, and I too went out along with him till he came to the lintel of Aisha's dwelling place. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, thought that those people had left by then, so he returned, and I too returned with him till he entered upon Zainab and found that they were still sitting there and had not yet gone. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, went out again, and so did I with him till he reached the lintel of Aisha's dwelling place, and then he thought that those people must have left by then, so he returned, and so did I with him, and found those people had gone. At that time the divine verse of Al-Hijab was revealed, and the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, set a screen between me and him, his family. Hadith 13. Narrated Anas, when the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, married Zainab, the people came and were offered a meal, and then they sat down, after finishing their meals, and started chatting. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, showed as if he wanted to get up, but they did not get up. When he noticed that, he got up, and some of the people also got up and went away, while some others kept on sitting. When the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, returned to enter, he found the people still sitting, but then they got up and left. So I told the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, of their departure, and he came and went in. I intended to go in, but the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, put a screen between me and him, for Allah revealed, O you who believe, enter not the Prophet's houses. Surah 33, Ayah 53. Hadith 14. Narrated Aisha, the wife of the Prophet, Umar bin al-Khattab used to say to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, let your wives be veiled, but he did not do so. The wives of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, used to go out to answer the call of nature at night only at al-Manasi. Once Sauda, the daughter of Zam'a, went out and she was a tall woman. Umar bin al-Khattab saw her while he was in a gathering, and said, I have recognized you, O Sauda. He, Umar, said so as he was anxious for some divine orders regarding the veil, the veiling of women. So Allah revealed the verse of veiling. Al-Hijab, a complete body cover excluding the eyes. Hadīth 15. Narrated Sahal bin Sa'd, a man peeped through a round hole into the dwelling place of the Prophet, while the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, had a midrai, an iron comb, with which he was scratching his head. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Had I known you were looking through the hole, I would have pierced your eye with it," that is, the comb. Verily, the order of taking permission to enter has been enjoined because of that sight, that one should not look unlawfully at the state of others. Hadīth 16. Narrated Anas bin Malik, a man peeped into a room of the Prophet. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, stood up, holding an arrow head. It is as if I am just looking at him, trying to stab the man. Hadīth 17. Narrated Ibn Abbas, I have not seen a thing resembling lumam, minor sins, than what Abu Hurairah narrated from the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, who said, Allah has written for Adam's son his share of adultery which he commits inevitably. The adultery of the eyes is the sight, to gaze at a forbidden thing, the adultery of the tongue is the talk, and the inner self wishes and desires and the private parts testify all this or deny it. Hadīth 18. Narrated Anas, whenever Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, greeted somebody, he used to greet him 3 times, and if he spoke a sentence, he used to repeat it thrice. Hadīth 19. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, while I was present in one of the gatherings of the Ansar, Abu Musa came as if he was scared, and said, I asked permission to enter upon Umar 3 times, but I was not given the permission, so I returned. When Umar came to know about it, he said to Abu Musa, Why did you not enter? Abu Musa replied, I asked permission 3 times, and I was not given it, so I returned, for Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, If any one of you asks the permission to enter thrice, and the permission is not given, then he should return. Umar said, By Allah, we will ask Abu Musa to bring witnesses for it. Abu Musa went to a gathering of the Ansar and said, Did any one of you hear this from the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him? Ubay bin Ka'b said, By Allah, none will go with you but the youngest of the people, as a witness. Abu Sa'id was the youngest of them, so I went with Abu Musa and informed Umar that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, had said so. Hadīth 20. Narrated Abu Hurairah, I entered the house, along with Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. There he found milk in a basin. He said, O Abu Hurairah, go and call the people of Sufa to me. I went to them and invited them. They came and asked permission to enter, and when it was given, they entered. Hadīth 21. Narrated Anas bin Malik, that he passed by a group of boys and greeted them and said, The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, used to do so. Hadīth 22. Narrated Abu Hazim, Sahal said, We used to feel happy on Fridays. I asked Sahal, why? He said, There was an old woman of our acquaintance who used to send somebody to Budaa. Ibn Maslamah said, Budaa was a garden of date palms at Medina. She used to pull out the silk, a kind of vegetable, from its roots and put it in a cooking pot, adding some powdered barley over it, and cook it. After finishing the Jumu'ah, Friday, prayer we used to pass by her and greet her, whereupon she would present us with that meal, so we used to feel happy because of that. We used to have neither a midday nap, nor meals, except after the Friday prayer. Hadīth 23. Narrated Aisha, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, O Aisha, this is Gabriel sending his greetings to you. I said, Peace and Allah's mercy be on him, Gabriel. You see what we do not see. She was addressing Allah's apostle. Hadīth 24. Narrated Jabir, I came to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, in order to consult him regarding my father's debt. When I knocked on the door, he asked, Who is that? I replied, I. He said, I. He repeated it as if he disliked it. Hadīth 25. Narrated Abu Hurairah, a man entered the mosque while Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, was sitting in one side of the mosque. The man prayed, came, and greeted the Prophet. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said to him, "Wa Alaikas-Salam," returned his greeting. "Go back and pray as you have not prayed properly." The man returned, repeated his prayer, came back and greeted the Prophet. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Wa Alaikas-Salam," returned his greeting. "Go back and pray again as you have not prayed properly." The man said at the second or third time, "O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Kindly teach me how to pray." The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "When you stand for prayer, perform ablution properly and then face the Qibla and say Takbir, Allahu Akbar, and then recite what you know from the Quran, and then bow with calmness till you feel at ease, then rise from bowing till you stand straight, and then prostrate calmly, and remain in prostration, till you feel at ease, and then raise your head, and sit with calmness till you feel at ease, and then prostrate with calmness, and remain in prostration, till you feel at ease, and then raise your head, and sit with calmness till you feel at ease in the sitting position, and do likewise in whole of your prayer." And Abu Usama added, "Till you stand straight." Hadīth 26. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "And then raise your head till you feel at ease while sitting." Hadīth 27. Narrated Aisha, that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said to her, "Gabriel sends salam, greetings, to you." She replied, "Wa Alaikas-Salam wa rahimahullāh, peace and Allah's mercy be on him." Hadīth 28. Narrated Urwah bin Az-Zubayr, Usama bin Zayd said, "The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, rode over a donkey with a saddle, underneath which there was a thick soft fadakiyah velvet sheet. Usama bin Zayd was his companion rider, and he was going to pay a visit to Sa'd bin Ubadah, who was sick, at the dwelling place of Bani al-Harith bin al-Khazraj, and this incident happened before the Battle of Badr. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, passed by a gathering in which there were Muslims and pagan idolaters and Jews, and among them there was Abdullāh bin Ubay bin Salul, and there was Abdullāh bin Rawahah too. When a cloud of dust raised by the animal covered that gathering, Abdullāh bin Ubay covered his nose with his rida sheet, and said to the Prophet, "Don't cover us with dust." The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, greeted them and then stopped, dismounted and invited them to Allah, that is, to embrace Islam, and also recited to them the Holy Quran. Abdullāh bin Ubay bin Salul said, "O man! There is nothing better than what you say, if what you say is the truth. So do not trouble us in our gatherings. Go back to your mount, or house, and if any one of us comes to you, tell your tales to him." On that, Abdullāh bin Rawahah said, "O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Come to us and bring it, what you want to say, in our gatherings, for we love that." So the Muslims, the pagans, and the Jews started quarreling till they were about to fight and clash with one another. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, kept on quietening them, till they all became quiet. He then rode his animal, and proceeded till he entered upon Sa'd bin Ubadah. He said, "O Sa'd, didn't you hear what Abu Hubab said?" He meant Abdullāh bin Ubay. He said so and so. Sa'd bin Ubadah said, "O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Excuse and forgive him, for by Allah, Allah has given you what he has given you." The people of this town decided to crown him as their chief, and make him their king. But when Allah prevented that with the truth which he had given you, it choked him, and that was what made him behave in the way you saw him behaving. So the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, excused him. Hadīth 29. Narrated Abdullāh bin Ka'b, I heard Ka'b bin Malik narrating, when he did not join the battle of Tabuk, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, forbade all the Muslims to speak to us. I would come to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and greet him, and I would wonder whether the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, did move his lips to return my greetings or not, till 50 nights passed away. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, then announced, to the people, Allah's forgiveness for us, acceptance of our repentance, at the time when he had offered the Fajr, morning, prayer. Hadīth 30. Narrated Aisha, a group of Jews came to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and said, As-Salamu alayka, death be on you, and I understood it and said to them, Alaykum as-Salamu wal la'na, death and curse be on you. Allah's Apostle said, Be calm, O Aisha. For Allah loves that one should be kind and lenient in all matters. I said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Haven't you heard what they have said? Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, I have, already, said, to them, Alaykum, upon you. Hadīth 31. Narrated Abdullāh bin Umar, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, when the Jews greet you, they usually say, As-Salamu alaykum, death be on you, so you should say, in reply to them, Wa alaykum, and on you. Hadīth 32. Narrated Anas bin Malik, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, if the people of the scripture greet you, then you should say, in reply, Wa alaykum, and on you. Hadīth 33. Narrated Ali, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, sent me, Az-Zubayr bin al-Awwam and Abu Murthad al-Ganawi, and all of us were horsemen, and he said, proceed till you reach Rawdat Kak, where there is a woman from the pagans carrying a letter sent by Hatib bin Abi Baltah to the pagans, of Makkah. So we overtook her while she was proceeding on her camel at the same place as Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, told us. We said, to her, where is the letter which is with you? She said, I have no letter with me. So we made her camel kneel down and searched her mount, baggage etc., but could not find anything. My two companions said, we do not see any letter. I said, I know that Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, did not tell a lie. By Allah, if you, the lady, do not bring out the letter, I will strip you of your clothes. When she noticed that I was serious, she put her hand into the knot of her waist sheet, for she was tying a sheet round herself, and brought out the letter. So we proceeded to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, with the letter. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, to Hatib, what made you do what you have done, O Hatib? Hatib replied, I have done nothing except that I believe in Allah and His Apostle, and I have not changed or altered my religion. But I wanted to do the favor to the people, pagans of Makkah, through which Allah might protect my family and my property, as there is none among your companions but has someone in Makkah through whom Allah protects his property, against harm. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Hatib has told you the truth, so do not say to him anything but good. Umar bin al-Khattab said, verily he has betrayed Allah, His Apostle, and the believers. Allow me to chop his neck off. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, O Umar. What do you know? Perhaps Allah looked upon the Badr warriors and said, do whatever you like, for I have ordained that you will be in paradise. On that, Umar wept and said, Allah and His Apostle know best. Hadīth 34. Narrated Abu Sufyan bin Harb, that Heraclius had sent for him to come along with a group of the Quraysh who were trading in Sham, and they came to him. Then Abu Sufyan mentioned the whole narration and said, Heraclius asked for the letter of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. When the letter was read, its contents were as follows, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. From Muhammad, Allah's slave and his apostle to Heraclius, the chief of Byzantines, peace be upon him who follows the right path, guidance. Amma ba'du, to proceed. Hadīth 35. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, mentioned a person from Bani Israel who took a piece of wood, made a hole in it, and put therein 1,000 dinar and a letter from him to his friend. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, that man cut a piece of wood and put the money inside it and wrote a letter from such and such a person to such and such a person.